Hello, friends. Welcome to the Brown One. I'm Nacho. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing great. If not, don't worry. I know you will get through it because you're a strong person, and it's all a matter of time until you will figure everything out. You may think that I am saying this just to be nice, but in reality, I genuinely believe everyone has the power to overcome anything in their life. These past couple of weeks were quite interesting for me. I was feeling a little lost, lots of uncertainty and resentment, which left me often thinking unhealthy thoughts, looping inside of my head a lot, which in result I had less energy than usual, less motivated to do anything, and most important, I was losing my connection with self and was letting my mind control my thoughts. I forgot all the knowledge of connecting with self, and the control of a mind was being lost. So I had to remind myself of few things to gain back my clarity, which I will be sharing with you today. The purpose of this video is to explain what your mind often does to you without you realizing it. I thought it would be the perfect topic for this week's video since I was just recently a victim of my own mind, the same way lots of people are on a daily basis. The goal here is to bring your awareness to noticing certain things about your inner world, which in result will help you to snap out of low vibe state quicker than usual. Honestly, it works like magic when your awareness gets to the higher level, but even the masters had to start somewhere, right? The first thing that your mind does to you is your mind is the one who creates all the experiences. This is a whole separate topic of itself, which I can go very deep into, but the main thing I want to deliver today is the shift of perspective and realization of that any experiences you've ever experienced or will experience is created by your mind, where you are simply the watcher, the experiencer, and the mind is usually the creator using the inputs from the outside world. There are 5 main inputs that your mind uses to combine them into perception of the world, considering of no previous experience, belief, or idea being stored in your mind. In Eastern philosophy, they're called 5 gates, which are eyes, ears, nose, mouth, as in taste, and tactile senses. But in practice, earlier mentioned experiences, ideas, and beliefs play a big part in the formulation of your experience. In essence, what I'm trying to say is that any pleasant or discomforting experience is created by your mind, and you are merely an experiencer of the result. Any emotion is a chemical reaction of your body to the state of your mind. This might sound crazy to many of you, but if one gains absolute control over its mind, then he should be able to basically create any experience and explore beyond what he already knows at will, just by sitting in a chair, for example. Sounds quite unreal, I know, but as much as flying was unreal, now it's a normal thing, and going beyond the skies soon will be too. The second thing to be aware of is that your mind will grow any thought, no matter how absurd it is. If there is a seed that happened to land in your head or mind, it will grow and cloud your vision. So it's very important to notice it and dispose of the weed early before it grows roots too deep inside of your mind. This idea and consequences of it was described incredibly well in the movie Inception with Leonardo DiCaprio, where his character's wife had a thought that got planted into her mind and it grew into a massive tree with huge consequences. I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't seen it yet, but I definitely recommend to give it a watch. This growth of an idea is quite important to understand because you are what you eat. Works the same way it works with the body, it works the same with the mind. Although it's a lot more dangerous when it comes to the mind, since there is minimum awareness in our society and no one teaches simple thought management, which can provide loads of benefit to literally anyone that's capable of thinking. Your mind is always recording, and even if you're not paying attention to the stuff you hear around you, your mind does. And if given enough of input, you will automatically start thinking and believing into same things, which keep being mentioned around you all the time. This point is the one that I have slowly forgot about myself. And the wrong thought, have grew in my head from a small seed, which made me believing into something that was generated, cultivated and grown from the inside world, but was in fact just mind playing its games. In some cases, another person can break through the illusion for you by sharing the truth. This is why honest communication is critical when it comes to human relationships. In other instances, unfortunately, you are left with it by yourself, and it's up to you to realize the toxic thought that you've inhabited inside of your mind. Basically, think of your mind as a jungle where every plant is a thought, idea, or a belief. When you raise awareness of your mind, it will be like you walking through your jungle and inspecting which plants are beneficial for the ecosystem, or it's a toxic plant destroying life around it. Be the guard of your own garden. That's your home, and the only thing that truly defines you. The third thing that mind does to you, and me and everyone you know, is it fights for control. The ego that each of us have is part of the mind that constantly messes with ourself. And if you hear about ego in spiritual context for the first time, it's basically a sense of I, we as humans have, which is built on beliefs and labels us and our society has attached to ourselves. And in essence, if you strip yourself from all the beliefs and labels you are associated as a person, in other words, stripping yourself from ego, that will be the purest form of self, or the spirit, if you like to call it that way. Like a white piece of paper, untouched, clean and pure. See, ego absolutely loves the comfort and safety because that's how ego stays alive. Every time you challenge with existence of ego, that's when it starts acting up and fighting with you for its existence. Ego is the one that stops you from doing what you've always wanted to but are afraid to start. Ego is the one telling you, I shouldn't do this because what are others going to think? It's the one who makes you actually care what people around you think, even if you'll never see them again. It tricks you into thinking that you should stay in your own bubble and stay here because it's comfortable and safe. In this bubble, there is nothing unexpected that might be encountered, which will challenge the existence of the ego. It's almost like having a parasite that lives inside of you, and all it cares about is its own safety, and you're just a vessel for it. Ego is like a person convincing you to sit on a beach and sip cocktails while you know you have to do things and work to survive in this world. But just as everything, ego has the flip side to it as well, which is more of obsessive side. This side is partly responsible for the hustler movement, the work hard movement. Yes, if you're a big hustler, you're also being controlled by ego, because ego is also responsible for all the desires, jealousy, and sense of pride that we have. The money, the status, the material belongings, desire for that comes from a very demanding ego. Now, I'm not saying that either side of the ego is bad. I'm only helping you to become more aware of the control it can have over you, and after that you should decide whether you think it's healthy for your being or self, or you're fine with ego leading the way and controlling you. It's just usually we don't know that we are being controlled until someone opens our eyes. I will give it to ego. The way it works is just fascinating. It's really sneaky, and it takes over you by making you think that it's you who making decision, but in reality it's just ego, very good sweet talker. It's very hard to strip ourselves from ego. Only few people have been actually able to do it. But I still get tricked by my ego myself and being controlled, and I'm sure there's a lot of moments where I think it's me making decision, but in reality it's just my ego smooth talking. In a way, it's like a devil on your shoulder, like they show in cartoons. And I see that in modern society we more and more listen to the devil rather than listening to the both sides. I hope I brought some insight to how your mind works, and maybe even opened your eyes on some things. This is what helped me to get out of the confusion I was in. The mind took over, and my inside world became a mess, until I remembered these 3 things I just talked about in this video. So hopefully this will help you too, or at least will help you to understand the motives of your mind. It's all about perspective and awareness things, which keeps the good vibes going. Now that you're capable of understanding your mind a little better, I wish you good luck. Don't forget to stay good, bless up, and I'll see you next week.